Hi, the next 5 minutes will be about the Bayeux Tapestry, which is in Normandy, but we'll be travelling to the UK actually in 2026. It's a work from the Middle Ages, which is a period between the 5th to the 15th century in Europe, and it's a moment where Christianity rises as the unifying power of Europe, and they define the arts as art that convey a message, a Christian message, and art is there to aid prayer and contemplation. It's quite flat art from the Middle Ages. It's about symbols. You're just trying to get across this Christian message. So event stories and people were depicted as symbols. It's very stylized and very 2D, with no sense of depth really. And throughout the Middle Age, you get different periods. It starts with the Byzantine period, and then Romanesque period, and then a Gothic period. And today this work is really within the Romanesque period. It's a period in which figures vary in size in relation to their importance. There's hardly any portraiture, although this tapestry has some. Figures often occupying confined spaces in a really kind of weird way. Landscape backgrounds are very abstracted, but there is a narrative, and that's what we see in the tapestry as well. Now, this tapestry tells the story of the invasion of the Normans between 1064 and 1066, which culminated in the Battle of Hastings. And this is, of course, all about William the Conqueror believing he could lay claim to the English throne. And you see this whole story kind of being depicted. Very, very long, in 13 different sections, and each section has a number of scenes exploring this story, starting in 1064 when Edward the Confessor was king, and then ending with Harold's death when the battle is over. Now, the very last scene from the tapestry has been lost, but that probably would have shown William being crowned King of England. The main scenes were enclosed by two border strips, the upper tier with birds and animals, very decorative, and then a lower strip full of dead warriors and horses, which of course all are forming part of that story of this battle. It's lovely how we see some portraiture, if you will. We see people that we know existed being depicted. Harold crowning himself King of England, for instance, and William the Conqueror when he learns about Harold's coronation, all very vividly depicted in this tapestry. Now, who commissioned this tapestry? Because in France, it's often referred to as a tapestry de la Reine Mathilde, the Queen Matilda, which is probably not true. It was probably commissioned by Bishop Otto of Bayeux. He was the half-brother of William the Conqueror, and he probably commissioned it for this church, the Cathedral of Our Lady of Bayeux, which was consecrated in 1077. He was the bishop there, and he probably had his commission to decorate the nave, because this is where we found the tapestry was found. Now, these kind of tapestries are very much what we see as typical narrative tapestries, which were made in this period, very much stories of brave knights and Christian teachings and so on. So why did Otto commission it? Well, he was William the Conqueror's half-brother. They had a bit of a troubled relationship, and he probably wanted to show his contributions to his half-brother's war efforts with his donation of a large number of ships as war counselors, and secure his place within the family. And this kind of solidifies it, these depictions and this tapestry. By the way, it's not really tapestry, it's embroidery. It's embroidered in this beautiful opus Anglicanum style, which was made in England, something that the English were known for all over Europe. Highly skilled and experienced nuns tended to do these things, and it would have taken a decade to complete, only being displayed on special occasions, of course, because of the discolouring otherwise. hugely important non-Christian story being depicted, which is unusual for this time, and one of the few depictions of these events that survive today. Now, if you enjoyed this and want to hear a longer story about the Middle Ages, about this specific work of art, or other talks, head to arthistoricallondon.com. Thanks.